What is going on, guys? My name is Leon Master, and today, boys, we are now back with another tier list video. And this one is the tank duos for the next Overwatch League 2020 season. Obviously, previously I did the off-season signings. It looks like there will be maybe one more, maybe that is in the middle. We don't know yet, but I do want to make this one a tank duo tier list for the next season. Obviously, what I'm saying, the key word is next season, and then there will be a DPS duo and also a support duo tier list as well. And I want to go ahead and start off with this one. Obviously, you guys can tell there is some that are the exact same, and also maybe there's some of my opinion on it. Obviously, Washington Justice, maybe you guys may disagree or maybe agree. When we get to Justice, I'll talk about why I have Roar over Lulsish. But either way, let's jump right into it. So let's go and start off with the first one, obviously Atlanta Reign with Pokbo and Fried. Now, this one is obviously very good, right? Obviously, we saw them in the second Overwatch League season. They're still good, but also the reason I'm very confused on this roster as well, because they still have Gator and Hawk, and Brad has said that Gator could potentially have a starting spot on the team. We still don't know what's going to happen yet, but if I was going to go off the team, they did very well off with the tank duo, is what I'm saying. I definitely think Fried and Pokbo could still be S tier, and honestly, with the team they're having right now, for sure S tier. They could definitely do very good if Edison beside their side, Erster as well. This tank duo could do a lot, just like they did in Season 2. I do think they could do a fantastic job. Then on to the next one, it is Fusions and Brucin with the Boston Uprising. I think this one's very underrated. This one could be insanely good next season. A lot of people are thinking Boston Uprising is going to be a bad team, but I think they could be very good, especially the teams looking right now. Obviously, their hit scan area, their DPS is pretty interesting, but as their tank area stands right now, the tank duo they're going to have is going to be pretty powerful, especially how Brucin played off tank this World Cup, and this even in general, and his off tank play is very good. Same thing goes with Fusions. If he can flex around a little bit more, put more practice into those heroes he can have in this off season, I definitely think Fusion and Brucin could be very good. And even if it was Axiom playing over Fusions, I definitely think this could still stay a B at the same time instead of A. But then again, we see what happens with this later on. This tank duo could do a lot next season. Then on to the next one, the Chengdu Hunters. And before I go on with any of the Chinese teams, I basically did not watch the Hangzhou tournament, the Shanghai Dragons tournament, whatever it was. I did not really watch that at all. I watched 5 minutes of it. I'm not going to base those 5 minutes off of these teams I watched. So basically, I'm just going to go off with the same thing I've been watching with Season 2. Apparently, Chengdu did bad. Apparently, the Guangzhou did bad. That's not going to shape my opinion at all when I rank these people. Anyways, let's go on with the Hunters still with the tank duo. Ameng and Elsa. I still think this one is probably going to stay in B, in my opinion. Just can Ameng play those other roles pretty well? Obviously, his Arissa's great, his ball's fantastic, and it looks like ball could potentially be meta next season, but we don't know that for sure. It's not solidified yet. So I definitely think Ameng and also still going to be a B tier. But then again, like I said, like I always say when we see what happens, this could be very good for the team. But when you compare it to like Pokbo and Fried, I definitely think these guys could stay B or maybe even go down to C when we see what happens later on. Then on to Dallas Fuel, Gamsu, and Note. Rekindling that synergy again back with the Boston Uprising, and I think this one's got to be an A tier. Like, if you at least have it on paper, put these two back together, I definitely think this tank duo could do insane again. Maybe as the season go on, it could be an S tier, honestly, but as it stands right now, Notes, inconsistency through the Dallas Fuel at the end at least, but Gamsu was so consistent on the Shanghai Dragons, and he'll bring that to the team. He's a leader, and it'll just make everyone go well again with this new tank duo. I definitely think this one's an A tier. It could potentially be S at the end of the Overwatch League season, but that could change as usual. Then on to the next one, the Florida Mayhem. And if you guys watch my streams or watch anything with the Florida Mayhem videos, this one is going to be good. If you guys even watched a lot of Florida in Stage 4 at least, these two are definitely one of the best tank duos in Stage 4, Stage 3, whatever you want to say. But whenever Gargoyle got to really play with Fate, this team looks nasty with Fate and Gargoyle on the team. And now that they have more coming, Gangnam Jin and Yaki, new coaches, that's a bit of it on the interesting side. But Fate and Gargoyle are going to be a great tank duo. They could also be S, but will Fate be consistent? If he's consistent, this tank duo will be S. But as it stands right now, with the entire Season 2, Fate was a little bit up and down a lot during the season, but if he's consistent like he did show in Stage 4, S tier for sure, but I think it needs to stay in A right now. Then on to the next one, it is the Guangzhou Charge with Krong and Rio. And this one's kind of like the same thing I've been saying with multiple teams right now in the B tier. They're good, but will they be consistent? I'm mostly talking about Rio. Rio has been also pretty interesting during the Overwatch League season, been up and down a lot. Krong is very good as well. Will he bring that with the team? Most likely. Rio, Will he be consistent? Hopefully. Could they get an upgrade over Rio? For sure. This tank duel will be interesting. I have high hopes for it. I really do. But like I said, a lot of people said they did bad in the new tournament. Like I said, that also is not affecting where I rank them. I do think it's average right now. If Rio's consistent, you better put him up to A. But I do think B is a safe spot right now for him. Then on to the next one, the Hangzhou Spark. And this one's interesting. This team made no changes with theirs as well. And I do want to rank them A still. Even though they made no changes, also I've heard words that they aren't that good either, but that's normal. It's Hangzhou Spark. Guangzhou and Ria have been one of the best tank duos in all of Overwatch League. Even Season 2, yes, they had their up and down moments a lot. That was a lot their Stage 1 and 2. But when it came down to it, they were still a great tank duo. Will they bring it to their team or not with no changes, it looks like, which this team could be bad with no changes they made. Obviously, a lot of other teams, like the Dallas Fuel, for example, like the Florida Mayhem, for example, have upgraded while Spark are just staying still. Then on to the next one, Muma and Meko, the Houston Outlaws. I honestly have very, very high hopes for this. I really do. I like, especially the new pickups they made to the support line, mostly Repel, and obviously their DPS pickups. I definitely think Muma can be a little bit better compared to what he was Season 2. Obviously, you can argue support duo was not the best, and also his DPS players as well. Dante was fantastic, though. Obviously, he'll probably bring that again this next season. Muma and Meko will have a probably decent synergy, and Muma is consistent like he was in Season 1. They're going to be a nasty tank, though. S tier, for sure, it could potentially be there. But if Muma's not consistent, even if the other roles are doing fine, if Muma's not consistent and everyone else is consistent, it's going to suck. But I do think right now, I do have high hopes for it, that the Houston Outlaws tank duo could be very good, especially how Meko just performs in general with the peeling, his attacking. It's great on paper, but will it do good on stage when they're consistent and traveling? Will it happen? Then on to the next one, the London Spitfire tank duo. And this one's another interesting one. I definitely think a lot of people would break this one poorly, but if you have watched any bit of JMac or Bernard, this tank duo could be very scary coming into Overwatch League. Now, obviously, it's hard to rank A or S right now because we don't know how they will perform against the Overwatch League tank duos. But like, if you look at it right now, look at the B tier compared to theirs. I think they could beat Krong, Rio, and maybe not Boston's, but potentially they could as well. But then when you look at the tier above them, it's going to be hard to beat that. I definitely think, you could put them low A, which is kind of why I put them in B right now, just to make it more just like, hey, safe spot is probably going to be the B. Will they play well? Will they do that? JMac will be interesting if he performs well like he did every now and then in Contenders. It's going to be a scary tank duo. Bernard, he will do really well, just like Glister will in the TPS duo. I do have a lot of hope in this tank duo, and I do think it will be good. I know a lot of people are bashing it, but London Spitfire fans, trust me, this tank duo is going to do great. Obviously, it's in B tier right now, but that could change at the end of the season. Then on to the next tank duo, LA Gladiators, OG, in space, and this one, boys, it's got to be S tier. It's just got to. Obviously, we saw how good OG was on his time with the Dallas Fuel. Obviously, he was inconsistent, but that was mostly the coaching staff. OG said it himself, even some players said it himself. It was kind of the coaching staff why OG was pretty inconsistent. Now that he's on a team with like DPay, Space, Birdring, I feel like Birdring is one of his favorite players, I'm pretty sure. Now he's on a team like that, he's going to be encouraged every day he walks into work. He has a great coaching staff. It just, so many great players beside him. I think OG will be very motivated not to be inconsistent anymore, and I definitely think it will just work. Space goes as well. We saw how good he performed in the World Cup. He was fantastic, and he's just all around. He can play every off tank at a high level. This is going to be great for the LA Gladiators next season. LA Gladiators looking very good next season as well. Then on to the next one, LA Valiants, Dreamer and McGravy. And it sucks to put him here because McGravy is a fantastic off-tank player, but Dreamer, will he perform well against the top-tier talent? Obviously, a lot of people could argue Australia Contenders is one of the weakest parts of Contenders, and Dreamer did do trials whenever he was on high ping, which if you can do well when you have high ping, that does make you look very impressive. Same thing goes with Trill. Trill played in Contenders with high ping forever, it feels like, and he still performed well. Will Dreamer do that in the Overwatch League? That's the question, because Australia Contenders, like I said, people could argue that's one of the worst part of Contenders, not the highest tier like NA, Korea, not like that as well. Will it work? McGravy, fantastic. He showed himself on Florida Man, fantastic. He had one game on LA Valiant, still looked pretty good. Obviously they lost, it was against the Shock, but he still had good looks on it. I do think McGravy, if anything, he will be the bright spot on the LA Valiant tank duo. But Dreamer, will he? Maybe he'll be an S tier tank, but who knows? That's just having high hopes. But as it stands right now, I do think it's a C tier though. Then on to the next one, NYXL's Hoppa and also Mano, another S tier tank duo for sure. Obviously, it sucks to see Meko go. It really does. But then again, it's nice to see some change come in. I do think Hoppa will perform well beside Mano. And I also predict that Hoppa will start over Bianca just because he is in the Overwatch League. He's played in the Overwatch League numerous times. And he's probably already practiced with Mano way more than Bianca has. But then again, Bianca could as well. Bianca's a great backup if Hoppa ever is sick. And I still think it could sit in the same tier if Bianca was playing. It could be A tier if that was going to happen. But NYXL, Mano, and Hoppa's does look clean right now. If Hoppa could play all those others like the Sigma, we did see him play Sigma for a little bit. It was good, it was bad at some points, but Hoppa could be just insane with Mano beside his side. Whatever the meta is going to be, Hoppa's very flexible. It will be a great tank duo. NYXL fans, be excited for this one. Then on to the next one, Paris Eternal, No Smite, and also Hanbin. Obviously, in the first couple of weeks of the season, maybe 1 or 2 weeks of Paris Eternal, we won't be seeing this one. It will be No Smite Smex, or they could be doing Ben Best Smex. We don't know what's going to happen. But as it stands, this will be the tank line they will be using majority of the season, so I am going to rank this. And the thing is, will it be good? Because No Smite, I know you guys heard my opinions on it numerous times. If you're new here, No Smite in Contenders was one of the scariest main tanks out there. Even he was just the scariest. He was always on you 24/7. He was one of the best main tanks in Contenders in his time there. But obviously when he was in the Overwatch League, did not have that kind of performance he did in Contenders, and that's why it brings down to a B. It could be S, but as low as he did perform in the Hangzhou Spark, it makes it go down a lot. Hanbin, will he perform against Will in the Overwatch League pretty well? Most likely he will. But I do think B is where it stands right now. I do think it could be good. It's probably, especially that coaching staff behind him as well. No Smite could be even scarier than he was on X6. So this tank line could potentially be S tier or high A for sure. I do think B is also another safe spot for him to be as it stands right now. Then on to the next one, the Philadelphia Fusion, Shadow, and Fury tank line. And I know a lot of people may hate me for this one, but I have my reasons why. If you watch my streams, I think this is good for them. Don't get me wrong, I definitely think they could get an upgrade over Shadow, but I think the Philadelphia Fusion built around Shadow. If you look at their team compared to the team they had last year, you have an aggressive team, and Shadow's an aggressive player, a very, very aggressive player. Fury, one of the most aggressive off-tank players in general, one of the best off-tank players in the world, you could argue the best. Then you have, obviously, your Carpe, you have Ihisu, you have their TPS, they're very aggressive as well. Their support duo is what I want to talk about. Funny Astro, way more aggressive than Neptuno. Alarm, way more aggressive than Boombox. This team is just going to be aggressive. Alarm's going to have a great synergy with the team, I feel like. Throwing the Discords, whatever he's going to play, he's going to throw a nade, whatever. This team is going to be insanely aggressive and fast with Shadow and Fury as the tank line. But like I said, if they can get upgrade over Shadow and find someone even more aggressive but safe at the same time, it could go S tier. But I definitely think Shadow and Fury is going to be good. I know a lot of you guys probably already going through the comments saying I'm dumb, all that. But I definitely think this team is going to be very aggressive, and they're going to look good next season either way. Then on to the next tank duo, Smurf and Choi Hyobin. And this was an obvious one. It is S tier. It is obviously going to be S tier. No matter who it's going to be, Super, Smurf, it's going to be S tier either way. That's all I got to say. If you watched any of the Overwatch League Season 2, you know this tank line's insane. Then on to the next one, Gesture and Michelle. This one's going to be interesting to rank for sure. Obviously, if you guys have watched my streams at all, I do think Marvel could actually potentially start over Gesture as well. But then again, they bought Gesture for a reason, so Gesture may start as well. So Michelle and Gesture could be a decent tank line, not a decent, a very good one. But if Gesture's inconsistent, this is going to look bad for them. But as it stands on paper, this will be an insane tank duo. Not S for sure, because Gesture does have his inconsistencies. Same thing goes with Michelle as well. But will they sign a new off tank? Obviously, it's rumored to be Dako. But as it stands right now, I do think it's pretty good. Then on to the next one, we do have the Shanghai Dragons one, Stand 1, and Void. And I definitely think this one's going to be very good as well. I definitely think just in general, we've heard good things about Stand 1 in general. Even when I watch them in the Gladiators Legion, obviously, team's now gone now, unfortunately. But Stan 1, with the new team around him, now that he's in the Overwatch League, now that he has Overwatch League coaching staff behind him, Stan 1 could be very good. Like, very, very good. And obviously, Void beside him as well, there could be a little bit of synergy. But with Void and Stan 1, this team could even be S tier the tank duo they have. So, like I said, I really think the safe spot for this team right now is A, but will they perform well in the Overwatch League? Probably. They probably will perform well in the Overwatch League. I definitely want to put him S tier, but then again, will Stan 1 have his bad moments like he does sometimes? I definitely think it's going to be A tier. Then on to the next one, Toronto Defiant, Beast, and Nevix. And this one, I'm honestly scared to rank them right now. I definitely think another safe spot for this Tank Duo to be replaced is C. I know a lot of people will instantly want to jump on me saying, why do you want to put him C? Nevix is on there. But everyone always wants to say Nevix, right? But we haven't seen Nevix play in a long time. We obviously saw him play like 2 or 3 games in the Overwatch League Season 2, but those are maps, obviously you play last map. No one really cares. Even the enemy team doesn't really care at that point. If it was, especially for playoffs and they already lost it, it's going to be weird to see. I do think Nevix could be A tier, but when it comes to Beast, or Beast Halo, whatever you want to say his name, will it be bad as well? Because we haven't seen Beast Halo perform in contenders in a while, especially consistently. We have only seen Shangsik really play. Obviously, Beast Halo does have his maps, but it's mostly been Shangsik. Will it be good with the team? I don't know. This one just like, will it work? You know, will this new tank duo work? Obviously, it's way better than McGravy and Dreamer, but does it stand in a tank line like the B's and the A's and the S? As it stands, no. I know a lot of people may hate to hear that, but Nevix, we haven't seen him play in a while, and the same thing goes with Beast. Will it work? Then on to the next one, we have Fisher and Jano. Even though they don't have Bumper anymore, you can't lie that this tank duo still looks good. Obviously, there's not enough room on this tier list anymore. That's why they're all bunched up. I did that. But on paper, it's good. Communication, will it work? Hopefully. Obviously, they have no longer any synergy anymore. If it was Bumper there, it would be S tier, but it goes down one with Fisher. We also haven't seen him play in a hot minute as well, but his times have been good still. He does stream a lot, it seems like. He still looks good. But with Jano by his side, I definitely think Fisher and Jano could be great as well. Just the thing that worries me is the synergy and the communication. Will it work? Hopefully it does. Then on to the last one we got is the Washington Justice Roar and Elivote one. And the reason I have Roar over Lulcich is because I was not impressed with Lulcich in the World Cup, in my opinion. I know a lot of people could disagree with that, but I was not a fan of it. Elivote did perform way better compared to Lulcich. He still looked good as usual, especially on Team Envy. Elivote still looked great, and Roar, he got picked up for a reason as well. John Galt did work with the Gladiators. Bringing them over to the Washington Justice is also good. Obviously, the Gladiators does have LH Cloudy now, and they have OG, so Roar probably was never going to have a spot in the Gladiators anymore. But him going to Justice with John Galt again, and the DPS and supports around him, I just think it's Roar going to be starting over Lulcich. If Lulcich does start over Roar, I definitely think it will still be in the same spot. Maybe not, but as it stands right now, B. Obviously, Roar did have his bad moments. That's like obvious. I definitely think he could be consistent on this new team with Elivote beside him, and also the new sports they have, and obviously just their DPS in general. I think this tank duo could be very good. I definitely think it's one people are not really talking about that much. I think it could work. So yeah, that is the tank duo tier list. Obviously, I know a lot of you guys could disagree with me on this one. I know some of you guys may say the Muma Mecha one could go lower. I know some of you guys may say the Boston Uprising one could go higher, the Paris Eternal one, and the Justice one. I definitely think some of you could say even D tier at this point. But as it stands right now, especially in the time we're at right now, I definitely think the S tier will still be one of the best tank duos, especially the LA Gladiators one. A tier has a lot of potential. I know A tier has a lot, as it looks like, but it's then again they're all bunched together, so it looks weird. We got the Dallas Field one, Gamsu and Note, that could be S tier at the end of the season. Fate and Gargoyle, if Fate's consistent, could be good. Gujwei and Rhea could go down, apparently, what I've heard with the new games they played. Mumameko, if it works, yes, A tier, but if it doesn't work, maybe B tier. I just think I definitely think this is a good tier list right now. Obviously, like I said, I know a lot of you guys will not agree with this one for sure. This one's just for now. What's your guys' opinions on this one down below? And I know if you guys want to put your own list down below, it could take a while. Put them in like a notepad or something. But whatever you guys want to do, what's your guys' thoughts on this one? Don't argue all the time down there if that is the case. But either way, guys, this is my tier list. The next one will be the DPS duo ones as well. Obviously, we have like Decay and Doha. We have all the new DPS coming in. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to join my Discord down below, guys. Also, don't forget to follow my Twitter and my Twitch. I have it streaming every day. And don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.